go back to the Nakba, the catastrophe in 1948 when the British left Palestine. How were Palestinians forced to leave homes?
The Zionist terrorist organizations were committing atrocities against the Palestinian people to ethnically cleanse them and to push them out of their homes. And that was before the British had left. And again, all that is very well documented. You don't have to listen to Shamim or myself. It's all out there for anyone who wants to look it up.
Yeah, and you know, there are, as you say, well-documented examples. Just one on the 9th of April 1948, which is even before the Zionist colony of Israel was established. The Deir Yassin massacre took place, which targeted women and children as well as men. Everybody was killed in that village as the Zionists wanted to spark terror amongst Palestinians and literally have them flee to protect their children and themselves, which is, I think, something any of us would consider doing if everybody around us was being massacred.
Exactly. And after the British left, these groups just continued to escalate their terror attacks against Palestinian civilians with bombings and massacring Palestinians. They were ruthless.
Can you give us another example of a documented massacre?
Yeah, a Lid is another example. So after the Zionists occupied the Lid, they brutally massacred around 426 women, men, and children, and around 176 of them were slaughtered in the city's main mosque.
And another example in the village of Tantura, which is near Haifa, where your mom was born.
Yeah, that's in the north of Palestine. And even after the Palestinians had surrendered in Tantura in May 1948, over 200 Palestinians were massacred. And most of the village was either destroyed and the Palestinian residents were expelled. So it doesn't matter if you surrender or you fight or whatever, they end up massacring and expelling the Palestinians.
And very much as we're seeing in Gaza, if they're lucky, they're in Gaza, but they created just communal mass graves of the Palestinians they slaughtered in Tantura, and then they built a kibbutz and a beach resort on the site of that depopulated village, which is something to think about if you're planning your holiday. There's a documentary on Tantura and all the massacres in Palestine, and again, well documented for anybody who wants to look further into it.
Yeah, and the Zionist massacres continued. Many more Palestinian villages and towns were wiped out, or there were mass executions against Palestinians. There was torture. They killed them in their homes, in their streets. They lined them up and shot them. Women were raped and killed. So it was quite brutal and quite barbaric.